Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is Cell, the Unit of Life, and I'm Dr. Hajra Yunus. In this chapter we will discuss about what is cell, discovery of cell, size, shape and classification of cells. So what is cell and its discovery? A cell is defined as the smallest, means cell is very small in size, basic unit of life, and is responsible for all of life processes, means various metabolic activities are performed by cell. And cell is the basic structure and functional unit of life. Discovery. Who discovered cell? Firstly, Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke discovered cell in cork slide of Quercus. Quercus is the plant. And you know that corpus is dead tissue. Dead tissue means cell wall is present, and inside cell wall deposition of suberin is present, but inside no other organelles are present, so the lumen is empty. And Robert Hooke discovered the cell in the cork slide of Quercus, and Quercus was dead tissue. But after that, but still the credit of cell discovery is given to Robert Hooke. Next is Anton von Leeuwenhoek, and Anton von Leeuwenhoek discovered cell in living tissue. So if there is a question that who discovered cell, if there is an option that is Robert Hooke, then you will write down or you will tick Robert Hooke. But if there is a option that who discovered cell in living tissue, then there is the answer is Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Robert Brown discovered nucleus. There are two scientists, that is Schleiden and Schwann, proposed this cell theory. But after some time the cell theory was modified, and because Rudolf Virchow was the scientist who added one point, and now the cell theory is called modern cell theory. The points of cell theory are: number one, all living organisms are made up of cell. All living organisms, if we start from bacteria till animalia, plantae, all living organisms are made up of cell. All biological biochemical processes occur within the cell. Biochemical processes like Krebs cycle, glycolysis, electron transport chain, Calvin cycle, these all biochemical processes take place within the cell. Next is new cells are formed from pre-existing cell. This point was added by Rudolf Virchow, and it means if this is one cell and this cell undergoes the process of the mitosis, then two cells are formed. This is the one cell and this is the another cell. So from the pre-existing cell, two new cells are formed. So in this slide we will discuss about smallest cell and the largest cell. The smallest cell is the PPLO. PPLO is the abbreviation of pleuropneumonia-like organism, and this is also called mycoplasma. And the smallest size, because this is the smallest cell, so the size is 0.1 micron meter, and this is the shape of plasma, mycoplasma. And you know, mycoplasma is somewhat between bacteria and the virus. And the mycoplasma has no cell wall, and they have lipoprotein membrane. This is the plasma membrane, soluble protein, ribosome, DNA, and the soluble RNA are present, but there is no cell wall. Largest cell is of ostrich egg, and which is 15 centimeter, and the scientific name of ostrich is Truthocamelus. So this is the ostrich egg, and this is the internal organization of ostrich cell. Next is factors affecting the cell size. So there are four factors which affect the cell size are nucleocytoplasm. First is nucleocytoplasmic ratio. Nucleo means nucleus and cytoplasmic means cytoplasm. So as you know that nucleus is very important. Nucleus controls all activities of cell. So if nucleus size is small and the cytoplasm is large, then the smaller nucleus will not be able to control or to support large cytoplasm. And if nucleus size is large and cytoplasm is small, then in that case the large cytoplasm or small cytoplasm will not be enough to control or to perform various metabolic activities. So there should be a balance between nucleocytoplasmic ratio. Next is surface area and volume. These two factors are very important. and we discuss about these two factors in a 1 minute. And third is the metabolic activities rate. So these are the factors which affect the cell size. uh, for the surface area and the volume, to prove that these two factors affect the cell size and how these two factors affect the cell size, we need formulas, surface area and volume formula. So surface area, the formula is length, width and sides, and for volume is length, width and height. So this is the cube, and we will start from this diagram here. Because this is the cube and the cube has 6 sides and the cube has all sides are equal. So here this is the all sides are 1 millimeter. Surface area is, for case 1, surface area is length multiply width multiply sides. So here length is 1, width is 1 and sides are 6. So the surface area is 6 millimeter square. So next is volume, that it is length, width and height. So here length is 1, width is 1 and height is 1. So answer is 1 millimeter cube. So here surface area to volume ratio is 6:1. So now if we take another diagram, so here if we take this diagram, here all sides are 2 millimeter square. So this is 2 multiply 6. So answer is 2 2s are 12, 12 2s are 24, 24 meter square. And for the volume, length, width and height, so 2 2 and 2, this is 8 millimeter cube. So for second diagram, surface area to volume is 24 and 8, and after simplification it is 1:3. So here in the second case surface area is less, 3:1 ratio, and in the first case surface area to volume ratio is more, that it is 6:1 ratio. So by increasing the cell size, surface area and volume ratio decreases. So that's why the cell in small size are very efficient, and in case of plants and animals, cell size is small and the smaller cell size is more efficient. Now this is the shapes of cells. There are few shapes of cells. So first, this is the irregular shape. This, you can see the cell is irregular in shape. So the example for the irregular cell is amoeba. So this is the spindle shaped cells. Example is smooth muscle cell, and these smooth muscle cells are present in humans. And so this is the cell, this is the body, and this is the long fiber. And here the example is nerve cell, that is neuron. So these are the rod shaped cells, and these rod shaped cells are present in bacteria. So the example is bacillus, and the bacillus has rod shaped cells. Then these are the round cells, and these are also in bacteria, and such round cells are called cocci. And these are spiral shaped cell, which is called spirillum. And this is comma shaped cell, which is called vibrio. And this rod shaped, spherical, spiral and comma shaped cells, these cells are present in bacteria. So this is the rectangular longitudinal cells. These are the skeletal muscles. Muscle, these are also present in humans. And these are the red blood cells. These cells are round and biconcave. And here the irregular cells. So one example of irregular cell is amoeba. Another cell of irregular cell is white blood cells, because white blood cells are also irregular and they have no specific shape because they change their shape. So in case of plants, various cells are present like parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma cells are also present. And here I have shown the guard cells. These are kidney shaped cells, and these are present in plants in case of dicots, because in dicots kidney shaped guard cells are present, whereas in case of monocots dumbbell shaped, like this is the dumbbell shaped guard cells are present, and these are present in monocots. Next is classification of cell based on shape. So based on shape and internal organization, there are two types of cell. Number one is prokaryotic cell and other is a eukaryotic cell. In case of prokaryotic cell, the example is bacteria, because here the karyotic word is present, and karyotic word is derived from karyon, and karyon means nucleus, and here pro means earlier and u means true. So in case of prokaryotic cell, true nucleus is not present. And what does it mean? True nucleus means outside the nucleus nuclear membrane is not present, whereas in case of eukaryotic cell, outside nucleus nuclear membrane is present. So in case of prokaryotic cell, the example is bacteria, and bacteria belong to kingdom Monera. So here the eukaryotic cell are present in fungi, and the fungi belong to kingdom fungi. Plants belong to kingdom Plantae. Animals belong to kingdom Animalia, and protists belong to kingdom Protista. So in bacteria, prokaryotic cell is present, means true nucleus is not present, and in case of fungi, plants, animals, protists, true nucleus is present. True nucleus means outside the nucleus nuclear membrane is present. Next is classification of cell based on their number. So that is unicellular and multicellular. If only one cell is present, then it is called unicellular. Uni means one and multi means many nucleus are present. And in case of unicellular organisms, one cell is able to perform all metabolic activities, whereas in case of multicellular organism, many cells all together perform one function, whereas in case of unicellular, one cell performs all the function, whereas in case of multicellular organism, many cells or group of cells performs one function. Next is the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So in case of eukaryotes, any cells that contain a clear defined nucleus and membrane bounded organelles, means in case of eukaryotes proper nuclear membrane is present, whereas in case of prokaryotes nuclear membrane is not present. And in case of eukaryotes, membrane bounded organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, and mitochondria, they are present in eukaryotic cell, whereas in case of prokaryotic cells these organelles are not present. Example, so eukaryotic cells are animal, plant, fungi and protist cell, whereas prokaryotes are archaea and bacteria. So this is the diagram of the bacterial cell, which is the prokaryotic cell, and this is the animal cell, which is the eukaryotic cell, and this is plant cell, which is also a eukaryotic cell. Nucleus. Outside the nucleus, membrane bound or membrane is present, whereas in case of nucleus of prokaryotes, membrane is absent. That's why the nucleus is called nucleoid. Size is 10 to 100 micron meter, and it is small, less than a micron meter to 5 micrometer. DNA replication. In case of eukaryote, many origin of replication are present, whereas in case of prokaryote, only one origin of replication is present and the entire genome replicates at once. Organism type. Eukaryotes are usually multicellular and prokaryotes are always unicellular, like bacteria. Bacteria is unicellular, and in case of animals and plants, here many cells together form a whole organism. Chromosome, more than one, whereas in case of prokaryotes only one single loop of DNA or nucleoid is present, but plasmids are also present, and plasmids are many in number, and the plasmids are extra chromosomal DNA, but plasmids are not DNA, they are extra to DNA. Ribosomes are 7 large, and in prokaryotes ribosomes are small, and in case of eukaryote 80s ribosomes are present, whereas in case of prokaryotes 70s ribosomes are present. Growth rate or generation time, the growth rate is very slow, and in case of prokaryotes growth rate is very fast. For example, in case of E. coli, generation time is 20 minutes, means after 20 minutes one bacteria or one bacterium undergoes the division and gives rise to two bacterial cell. Organelles, membrane bounded organelles are present like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi body, whereas in case of prokaryotes all these organelles are absent. Ability to store hereditary information, they have the ability, all prokaryotes have this ability. So because the genetic material is present, if genetic material is present, then they, whether we are talking about eukaryotes and prokaryotes, they have the ability. Cell wall, present in only plants and fungi. In case of protists and the animalia, cell wall is absent. In case of plants, cell wall is cellulose, and fungi, cell wall is chitinose. Whereas in case of prokaryotes, cell wall is present, and cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan, for example in bacteria. Plasma membrane is present both in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, and the cytoplasm is also present in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Thank you.